you want to do our list?
Yeah, we can do our list. What was our list we were doing today?
We're doing teams that you'd want to walk on left in the tournament. Teams that you would want to be a walk on for out of the teams left in the tournament.
Yeah. You say tournament funny. That's funny.
What do I say? Tournament?
Yeah, how many W's are in the word tournament?
Tournament.
Tournament?
Tournament.
Wings?
A tournament.
You got that's just
the Red Wings are in the tournament today.
Tournament. You got the Northeast tournament.
Is that like the old? Am I talking like I'm at a yacht club? Oh, the tournament was just delightful.
Yeah, you say like tour-ish, and where I'm from, it's The tournament.
The tournament. Who's left?
Yeah, we're doing the teams. I think about this all the time. Is like, which was my walk-on experience at Ohio State the best walk-on experience I could have had, and if I could pick to be if I could choose to be walk-on at any of these schools remaining, which one would I don't know why I do this a lot, but I kind of do.
I love that. I think that's a great, once you've had a choice and you've made a choice, it's very easy to then be like, oh, what would the other choices have been like years after the fact? And I think it's kind of fun to think about the different pros and cons of each of these, and not to be on it, be a walk-on it. Like, you're not playing.
Yes. You're not.
Neither of us are getting seeing any time.
You are not getting in the games. So yeah, let's do the you could take this a million different ways, by the way. You could. I'm curious to hear your explanations for the teams that you're picking. So I'll let you go.
You're
first
gonna like
as usual.
them. You're gonna like
what
them.
is number 5 on your list of teams you would want to walk on for in the Sweet 16 here?
The number 5 on my list, it's been really hard for me recently to, I guess, talk at all, but also just say numbers in order. Like, that really tripped me up last week when you weren't here. Okay, so 5, the Villanova men's team. And this is because I feel bad that I didn't pick them. I was so close to becoming a Villanova fan, and then I became a UVA fan, and I might be the Drake of the University of Virginia because what
does that mean? Like,
it means I rooted for them and they lost. You know what I mean? Like, Drake puts on a jersey and everyone's like, no.
Yeah, that's true. But then the Raptors won. Is the Drake curse over? Because
that's
Raptors
what I
won?
said. Was I talking to this about with you?
I don't know.
Yeah, okay, so is the Drake curse over? Oh, no, Ben brought it up last week. He was like, something about the Drake curse, and I was like, yeah, well, but it's over because of the Raptors. And he was like, no, it's not. And I was like, well, are you saying it's the exception that proves the rule? But I don't know that the Drake curse is over.
Put this in a tally in my belief that Ben is just a younger, better looking version of me. That you can't even. You're just like, yeah, Ben is Mark, right? He's just. I wasn't talking to Mark.
No,
I was talking
Mark.
to better Mark. That's right, better Mark.
Look, no,
better,
it's
Mark.
not. Oh my
Mark
God.
upgrade. That's what I was
talking to the person who was not in elbows deep in basketball. Mm-hmm. You were busy, man.
That's a nice way of putting it. Villanova's a good pick. Although right now I would be a little worried because they've had a couple injury problems, and if I was a walk-on, I would be like looking at our roster right now and saying, "Oh no, am I going to have to be asked to play a lot?" And in certain situations.
To me that's a little exciting because then I'd be like, "How can I blow this?
Yeah.
Like, what's going to go viral of me blowing the game in this situation? If we can't win and we can't have glory, like at least give me the worst possible ending."
Number 5 on my list is Syracuse, because Syracuse plays zone defense, which is preferable to me. Like if I'm going to be practicing every day in practice, I don't want to have to really like play defense, and zone defense lends itself to that. So where you can the great thing about zone defense is you can blame it on your teammate very easily.
Right, you're like he was in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you just point to your teammate and you're like, dude, that's you, man. And then you kind of argue with them, and then and that would suit me well. Also, if you're going against a zone if Syracuse, if the real team is practicing their defense, you get to run scout team against the zone, and that suits my skill set well too, because it's just basically I would just shoot threes over the zone all day.
Perfect.
So it's a really good fit. I don't know how much longer Syracuse is going to be in this tournament. But as far as like, I picked Syracuse at number 5 because I would thrive as a walk-on in Syracuse practices. If I had to get into the practices and like mix it up with the real players, I would dominate those practices per walk-on standards. You know what I mean?
Yes, I mean, you're thinking about it the right frame of mind. You know, it's not like you got to think of the practices. You've got to think of how you're going to interact with the bench. Syracuse is also on my list, but they're number 2. And so I'm just going to go out of order. I'm going to talk about Syracuse now because the reason that I would want to be, this gets so like, I think I have a creepy thing about like coaches and their family, from like wanting to know everything about their families. Jim Boeheim's son.
Yeah.
Buddy.
Yeah.
I got very into the dynamics of this family. I wanted to know what Buddy's real name was, so I Googled it. His name is Jackson. Turns out that Jim Boeheim's wife, Julie, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but she's a total babe. Like, she's a very, very attractive woman. And they have 2 other kids, and they're both named Jamie and then Jimmy. So are both of their names, are they both named after their dad?
That's a great question. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Exactly. So I want to be a walk-on so that I can ride the bench and become
Just
like the fun buddy friend of Buddy, and also have Jim like me because he doesn't expect anything of me, so I can't let him down, and then just know everything about the dynamics of their family.
Yeah, I have a feeling that wouldn't work as well as you like. Jim Boeheim does not strike me as a guy that would hang out, let his walk-ons.
But that's why it's such a challenge, Mark. And that's why it would prove
challenge.
If I actually do have the charisma and friend-making abilities that I like to think that I have. That's my ultimate white whale. Can I become friends with Jim Boeheim?
Become friends with Jim Boeheim, who is not even friends with. He's probably not even friends with his wife.
Who doesn't talk to his own children? Right.
Jim Boeheim gets in front, at least publicly. Every time Jim Boeheim opens his mouth publicly, he's like, "I hate this." And you're like, "What, Jim?" And he's like, "I don't know. I haven't really figured it out yet, but I hate this." And I'm trying to figure out what this is today.
Yeah, exactly. So if I can be one thing he doesn't hate, that'd be
awesome. Yeah.
Anyway, all right.
Number 4 on my list is Arkansas because Eric Musselman. I'm not sure how much you know about this guy.
I got really into Arkansas this year.
Arkansas basketball is a content machine. They know what they're doing in terms of social media, in terms of branding, in terms of all of that. And I think as a walk-on who, in my experience as being a walk-on, I had a blog, obviously. That's why I do this career I have today. It speaks to me to be a walk-on at a program that would like if I was on the team at Arkansas and I went to one of the coaches and I was like, "Hey, I want to start like a YouTube channel." Every other coach in the country, I feel like, could be like, "Absolutely not. Go stand in the corner. And if we need you, we're going to beat your ass in practice. That's what you're here for." At Arkansas, they'd be like, "Hell yeah, we'll set it up for you. And we'll get you, we'll buy subscribers for you or do whatever we need to do to promote this thing." So that's why Arkansas is on my list at number 4.
I love that. That's such a good pick. I like how specific you're getting here because you really have thought about this a lot, haven't you? Like, you think about this every time you watch basketball.
Every time I watch basketball, I'm watching the end of the bench and seeing how the walk. Do they look happy? Do you guys look happy? Are you having a good time? Is there anything I can do to help?
I miss seeing them all next to each other.
I know.
You know, that sucks.
But the trade-off is because the benches are spaced out, the benches can go wild with stuff like never before. Like they're celebrating and the way so that's pretty cool, at least, you know. They
have a wider like range of motion because there's, you know what I mean? I'm doing a thing with my hands that anyone listening to the podcast can't see, but where it's like, you know, wow. Anyway, my number 4, the Loyola men. Mark, you're going to hate this, but listen. I think they're on a run. Sister Jean said that she had them getting to the Elite 8. And I think with the way this tournament is going and the way that Sister Jean, I just think that maybe this is the year that like the prayers are working. And I want to be a part of that because I worry that there's bad karma floating around out there for me. And I think that being a walk-on on that team, not really having much to do with the wins, but like being moral support for those wins could probably get me some of that good spiritual whatever it is that they've got going at Loyola. So that's my pick. What's your third?
You
Before
go
I
to
keep
Sister
talking.
Jane and you're like, hey, sister, I've been having a rough go at life lately. Like, do you think maybe you could pray? And she's like, no, I don't pray for that. That's not what I do, Charlotte. I pray for wins. I pray for Final Four runs. We do not.
Sister Jean, I really need an A on this exam. And she's like, what
No.
who do you think I'm not like an order a prayer
Yeah.
nun, also I'm Jewish, so I don't know how that all works out, but
Sister Jean, my relationship with my mother isn't great. Can you help us mend that? She's like, absolutely not. And you're like, okay, we're playing Oregon State this weekend. Can you get us a W? And she's like, that I can do.
she's like, I am on it. Yeah. There could be a great show, like a great stupid sitcom, like If God Were Only a Sports Fan.
Yeah.
Like
Isn't that
the
what
only-
God Friended Me is on CBS? I don't know. I don't watch that stupid show.
I just
but
reinvented like
God Friended Me, yeah.
If God Were a Sports Fan, starring Charlotte Wilder.
it's like the spinoff of God Friended Me. It's like I met God at a sports bar. And we both love the Cubs.
God put $1,000 on Loyola.
God hit his parlay.
God had a bad beat on the whole coronavirus thing. Anyway, sorry. What's your number 3?
By the way, can you name 2 players on Loyola's team now that they've made the Sweet 16 for the second time in what, 4 years now? 3 years?
Sister?
In the last 3 years. Yep.
And Jean.
Yep. That's what I thought.
So I did it.
Point proven. That's
Yep.
it. That's point proven.
I can't even fight it. I'm just letting you have this because I can't name a single player.
I mean, imagine you're Cameron Krutwig and you've made you've made 2 Sweet 16s. You made the Final Four. You're a star player for Loyola,
Yep.
and everyone.
I don't know his
more
name.
More people are starting to know him, so that's okay.
Well, it's
but,
depressing, Mark, because sometimes I worry about my either information intake or memory because, like, I've watched every single March Madness game this year. Like, I've been really obsessed. And then you ask me something like that, and I'm like, I don't know. I can't recall it. They're too, like, I immediately go to USC because they're kind of the same colors. And I'm like, the Mobleys? Like, that's how my brain, like, I think my brain is just melting out of my ears,
Maybe
Anyway.
that's why you've enjoyed March Madness so much, is you just have like amnesia or something.
I think
and you
I
just,
do.
Like, you like forget that it. Yeah, you've watched the Oral Roberts Ohio State game like 12 times at this point, and you're like, wow, another upset. You just keep showing it on.
I just keep watching the same game and not realizing it over and
This
over.
is
Yeah.
insane.
That's what it feels like, Mark. So
Number 3 on my list is
Mm-hmm.
UCLA. This is pretty self-explanatory. I mean, you get to live in Los
I get it.
Angeles.
Yeah.
It's a blue blood school. I mean, the swagger that you would have if you just get to walk around campus and say, I'm on the basketball team. It's unrivaled, and you have that for life. I mean, you can go to reunions and rub elbows with Bill Walton and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and be like, yeah, I was on the team, back
Yeah.
then, and you were on the team too. Yeah, we're kind of the same, Kareem, me and you. Like we both were basketball
both
players at UCLA. Yeah.
right on the internet.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
We're both bloggers, Kareem.
Yes. So that's why UCLA is number 3. I don't think UCLA is on a little bit of a surprise run here right now. So
They had a play-in game, right?
they would be higher. Like if UCLA was a 1 seed, they're number 1, and not even no thought about it. Like that
Okay.
is the only reason they're number 3 on my list is because they're an 11 seed. And I think they got Alabama coming up. Alabama's pretty good. They're probably going to lose, and that's going to be the end of the run. So like that
Okay.
part wouldn't be fun. But going to UCLA and being on the basketball team would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, going to UCLA and no offense to Colby,
Yeah.
but like that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3 on my list is the Iowa's women's team, because Caitlin Clark is electric. And I love that she is going to be going up against Paige Beckers. UConn's finally going to have to play a hard team. I think both of them are really fun, and I'll get to UConn Well, now it gives it away,
Yeah,
but
very good. You're awesome at suspense. I wonder what your top two are going to be. Are they going to be Syracuse men and UConn women, Charlotte? I mean, my God.
Damn it. I did it wrong. I told you I'm messing up numbers this week. Okay, whatever. Anyway, I'm going to talk about Iowa first, though. I think that I could be a really great friend and support system to a superstar on a team that is good, but like isn't a dynasty. Like, I think that I could provide the moral support and, laughter for someone. Like, I could help Caitlin Clark thrive on the sort of friend front, and then just watch her and be so proud and not feel jealous at all because like I know I'm not going to play, so it's not an issue. You know what I mean?
That was kind of my role at Ohio State,
Yeah.
Like I was Greg Oden's friend who just kind of made him laugh. And Ohio State wasn't quite like the basketball program. That was kind of the start of a good run for Ohio State basketball to where it is now, where it's highly ranked all the time and all that. Because at the time, they had won the Big Ten the year before, but like that was very early in the rebuild of the program, so to speak. So there weren't. Yeah, that year was awesome, and that was my role. It was like they were trying to. There wasn't a ton of pressure, but at the same time there was, because we were really good. But like, it wasn't like Ohio State fans were spoiled yet, like they are now, where they expect greatness every year. So they were just like, yeah, this is cool. We're ranked number 1. Oh my God, this is insane. They loved it.
Totally.
And then I was just the jackass in the locker room that made guys laugh.
Mark, you always say that we don't have much in common besides the fact that our brains are like both kind of broken, but like we have that in common. Like I was in my limited sports experience, I was the jackass in the locker room, and I think I could be the best jackass Iowa has ever seen for Caitlin Clark, and I want the best for her.
Do you have eligibility? We should like make this a reality where like you actually go be a walk-on, go get an advanced degree, and I don't know, probably. You probably could, honestly.
How does that work though? Like I went to college.
But you didn't play any sports, did you?
I mean, no.
Squash
for half a semester.
Yeah, I think you could. Right? I legitimately think you could. If you went to go get an advanced degree somewhere, if you wanted to go to med school or something, and you were enrolled at Iowa's, I don't know, or you just got your MBA at Iowa.
Here's what we have to do.
You could walk onto the basketball team. Yeah, for sure.
We have to get Fox to pay for 1 year of a master's program in writing at Iowa, because the Iowa Writers Workshop is like the best program, and that I've actually thought about going there when I was in college. And so if someone will pay for that and we can turn it into content of me trying to walk on to the basketball team, or maybe a team that I can actually play the sport of, but it's kind of funnier if it's basketball, that could be a series. Like people would watch that reality show.
I cannot imagine a reason why Fox would say no to this.
I'm calling Buck immediately after we get off this podcast. That's a killer idea. Come on.
Number 2 on my list is the Gonzaga Bulldogs. This one is a little straightforward, just in that Gonzaga has a chance to go undefeated, and they are the best team left in the tournament. And I believe that they're going to win the tournament. And that's why I would want to be on their team, because you could win a national championship, but then also you could be a part of the undefeated team. The last time a men's team went undefeated was 1976, Charlotte. If Gonzaga pulls this off, you are a part of history forever, or at least until the next undefeated team comes along, which is probably going to be a while. And that's it. So that's pretty much it. It's just like to be a walk-on the best team would be awesome. I was close to it, as I said, in 2007. We weren't quite the best team. We ended up losing in the national title game. But that year was magical. It was a ton of fun to just like watch us wreck everybody all season. And I would love to do that for Gonzaga. I would love to run it back, except this time actually win the title and be a legend forever and go back to Gonzaga and be like, yeah, I was on the team. Kiss my ring. This is me. You see that? It says 30-0 on the ring. That's me. Yep.
That's me. That's me. Wow. I have the same logic for my number 1. I mean, we know my number 2 is Syracuse. I've already explained my creepy. It's like a Nick Saban daughter's wedding thing. Again, I don't know what's going on. Wait till I find the Bayham's Instagram accounts, is all I'm saying. Anyway, my number 1 is the UConn women, because it's also straightforward. I think it would be absolutely the coolest thing ever to be part of a dynasty. The last time they won was 2016? The whole tournament?
Oh, really?
I think
it's been that long.
Hold on. Last UConn women's win. Championship win. Why is it so hard to find this? Sorry. What years did... Isn't this fun for everybody?
I'll find it, yeah. 2016.
Yeah.
2015,
okay, so,
2014. They won 4 in a row. Because, yeah, and then Breonna Stewart left. And then they haven't won since, right?
And they haven't won since. And I think that Paige, as I said, Paige Beckers, who's good friends with Caitlin Clark, and they have to play each other. And I think that's kind of fun. But she is, they have this really amazing freshman team. And they have a hard road to get there. Like, Baylor's going to give them a hard time if they can beat Iowa. And I just think that it's an exciting season that if they can win it, like if the dynasty of UConn can do it again in 2021.
Such a New England line of thinking of like, we win a trillion titles, but we still find a way to paint ourselves as underdogs. You're like, listen to what you're saying. You're like, UConn, can they do it? Can they get over the hump? Oh, man.
Oh my God, I'm embarrassed because I didn't even think it. Like, I don't think of it. Like, I honestly do it. Like, I mean that.
It's been 5 years. Oh,
whatever. I want to be a walk-on on the team, and I want to tell jokes that make everybody go out there and be like, we're going to go get them. And Shar, you're not going to play, but we're happy to have you here. So that's my list.
Number 1 on my list is USC because there are a few reasons
Because one of the guys from Last Chance U basketball is going to play there next year?
Sure. Because USC is in Los Angeles, like weather matters to me. Gonzaga, that's probably why I knock Gonzaga down, because Spokane, no disrespect, but you're not Los Angeles in terms of where I would want to go to school for weather purposes. Yep. So USC is in LA, just like UCLA is. They're better. They're a little better than UCLA. Like USC has a chance. They are gonna play Oregon. They've already beat Oregon. They beat Oregon's brains in the last time they played. And then I think they have a decent chance that they end up playing Gonzaga in the Elite Eight. I think USC matches up well, and they can pull the upset. And if you pull the upset, if you're a walk-on at USC, you pull the upset on Gonzaga, you're a legend. It's been forever since USC went to a Final Four in basketball. So if you could be a part of that ride, it would be awesome. On top of that, you have Evan Mobley might be the number 1 pick in the NBA draft to be his teammate and get those inroads. And like
over Cade Cunningham?
Maybe. We don't know.
Okay.
There's a lot of basketball left to be played, Charlotte.
Okay,
a lot of
Mark.
workouts to be had this summer. We'll see where it goes.
So true.
But yeah, he is very good. If he was number 1, I wouldn't be surprised at all, actually. So you kind of, I would work that angle. He would be my Greg Oden this time around, and I would be like, hey man, can I be friends with you? And then tell stories about how I'm friends with you and turn that into a career. You'd have that. It checks all the boxes. The only thing is like they're in Gonzaga's region, which I don't love, because I do want to make the Final Four as a walk-on. Because again, I have said the phrase, I went to a Final Four no less than 10,000 times in my life.
Yeah, obviously, it's the coolest thing that
it would be cool to it would be cool to be able to say like I was in the Final Four, and so that's the one thing that worries me. But USC checks every other box, so that's my number 1.
I love it. This is a great list, Mark. I just love that we gave you a space to talk about the things that you think about that you don't talk about when you're supposed to actually be talking about basketball. Hey, pals. Thanks for watching the People's Sports Podcast YouTube channel. For more of mine and Mark's very weird rabbit holes, stick around, watch more. You can subscribe, smash that subscribe button. You know you want to. We're going to give you all the weird stuff we possibly can.